Hello, TruBadger community. Of course, we are here tonight with a TruBadger AMA. The only thing is we're going to do it a little bit different. Instead of you asking me anything, I'm going to be asking you anything. So I'm going to be asking the watchers on here, whether you're on Zoom or whether you're on YouTube, is going to be my job to ask you guys questions and for you guys to answer my questions, okay? So we're going to flip the script here. I don't know if anybody's ever done this before, but why not, right? We love to do things that are interesting. So my first question is, how are you guys doing tonight? That should be an easy one for you guys to answer, by the way.
I would hope so. I'm doing great.
So Doug
I type it, but I...
Super fantastic. Excellent. Lois was able to answer. Gail. Yeah, this will only work, guys. Now, you guys know you've never asked me a question that I wouldn't answer. So I got to think that you guys would do the same thing, not answer all of my questions, okay? So, all right. We are good to go. Very good. So Sharona's in the background. She's going to be grabbing the questions from YouTube. I think I've got the ones up for Zoom to look at your guys' answer on this. So one of the things that we're working on right now is to clear up the messaging of TruBadger so we can get it across the board. So my first question to you guys are, what is TruBadger to you? What's the reason you got involved in TruBadger? What's the number one thing that got you to go, oh, I want to be a part of that? So that's my first question. As many people that want to answer it can answer it just by typing it in. You probably want to keep your answer short because you don't want to be typing forever. But look, I've got 4 hours blocked out for this call. So we got a lot of time. So if you have long answers, it's okay. So the first question is what is it that attracted to you to, what is the main reason? I just want one reason for you to be involved, that why you're involved in TruBadger. So we'll wait for those answers to come in. Short-term gains and long-term vision. Okay. I was told that team behind this was solid and have true experience being successful. Okay. I trusted the team behind it and always wanted to get at the beginning. That was my chance. My desire to help my children. Okay, great. Knowing the community. Perfect. Believe in you and what you stressed. Okay, perfect. Sharona, are you grabbing the ones from the YouTube? And you don't have to grab all of them. Just if you have a few, that'd be great to maybe copy and paste over here. I love badgers. That's probably a good reason. So maybe what we need to do is target badger lover groups. That would be probably fantastic for us to be able to do. Or Sharona, if you want to come up and read some of them, you could actually come up on the panel and read them. Lots and lots of money. Okay.
That sounds good.
My reason is the people behind it. Okay. So that's great, guys, for us to know that brought a lot of people to the project. Because we actually started making a video. Our video now is opening up with the full team at the front of the video. So we are heading in the right direction there. I too as well would, if I'm looking at a project, one of the key elements that I'm going to look at are the people that are behind it. Now, that's a little different in the crypto space, right? Because most of the projects in the deflationary reflection utility space or deflationary reflection, nobody even knows who's running them, which is a part that for some reason in this space, and I think because the founder of Bitcoin is unknown, that people equate to that is okay. I personally believe it's the reason why there's so many rug pulls and why so many people can walk away from it. If you don't know who I am, it's really easy for me to walk away from a project, right? Because nobody's going to go, hey, you're the one that launched that project and you walked away from it. So I think that is an issue in this space that needs to be cleaned up, that there really should be a great reason why you don't let people know who you are. Now I always thought that the reason why Satoshi didn't let anybody know who he was worried about the authorities. He was worried about governments coming after him. He was worried about that. But I actually realized recently the reason why is because he didn't want people asking why dip, why go price go down, why is this thing, why is our market cap going in the wrong direction? So he didn't want to get hammered with that. So he thought, he knew people really well, so he thought, no, I'm not going to do that. That is a joke, guys. Seriously, there was a reason for him not to know. It was an experiment that hadn't been accepted before, and he had to hide his identity. And I think that's actually one of the reasons why it was so successful, since they had not one person to go after, that it was able to grab it and move forward there. Okay, so we got potential income, Doug, Kyle, and Digibot class. Yep, good. The best short in the crypto world. Okay, great. So I'm going to tell you guys, I actually believe that what we're building here with TruBadger is probably one of the top 20 minimum concepts in all of crypto. Okay, now it's new in the way that we're approaching this. There has not been very many ways. So there's platforms. So you have Ethereum. Ethereum, the idea of a smart contract was we're going to build a mechanism that would allow for thousands of projects to build on our platform and allow them to grow. We're looking at this from a perspective of there needs to be a system put in place that allows for people to get a better chance of a return by finding good projects. This is leading to a question, by the way. So the system needs to do it. So, right. So we all know that people buy franchises because franchises are more likely to succeed. They do occasionally go out of business, but with decent management, a franchise should succeed because of the known, the brand that's out there. I personally believe that a system needs to be put in place that can help people like you, the people watching, narrow down. If you have hundreds of coins launching every week, how do you, having a job, having all this stuff, review 100 tokens or coins, figure out the top 10, deep research on those top 10, and then come up with the one or two that you're going to put your money into? So TruBadger is about building a system that will allow it to make it easier, narrow it down. Is that what you guys understand about the project? If you're a TruBadger holder right now, is that the understanding that we've clearly got across to you guys, that we're building a system of projects, 6 to 12 projects, that will help weed out and help narrow down and target projects that have a likelihood of succeeding because they have a team behind them that is real, that have that? So is that what you guys understand about what we've conveyed so far? Okay, we're getting a lot of yeses. Okay, perfect. Okay, so then my next question is this. Do you guys believe that the majority of people out there would be attracted to that if they understand, if we're able to get that message across? Do you think the average person would go, thank you, I found a place where I can identify, I still have to do my own research, I still have to do what's necessary, but if I identify this, okay, definitely, perfect, okay. And I got to tell you guys, some people have been saying, hey, what's happening with marketing, what's going on? We have lowered our marketing down pretty dramatically right now, because we're trying to get a message that gets what we're talking about across very quickly. A lot of you guys have been on a lot of AMAs. You know us. You've been around. We've gone over this. We need to get it to where within 2 or 3 minutes, we can deliver a message and have somebody go, oh, I got it. I understand this system approach for putting this together and driving this and moving this forward. And that's what we're working towards doing right now. We're having a, I don't want to say it the wrong way, but a pretty quick down and dirty video made. And then we have another group which makes absolutely spectacular videos. It takes them about 2 to 3 weeks to create them. Original artwork, original creation stuff. So we're going to create a video. We're going to put it out, see what type of results we're going to get from it. Once we nail the message, we're going to give it to these guys, and they are going to tune it up. They're going to dial it in, and they are going to create a masterpiece that will drive it. I'm going to ask you guys a question. How many people like that approach, or how many people would just like for us to do what the other tokens are doing, which is just spend, 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 drive, pump, 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 pump the token? And guys, you can be honest, right? If you don't, I'm okay with it, right? This is, remember, TruBadger's not Peter's. It's the token holders. I am a token holder, so it's partially mine. But this is a project that we're building for you guys, right? If you're a TruBadger holder. If you're not a TruBadger holder, we're not building it for you yet, right? But once you become a TruBadger holder, we're building it for you. We're building it to increase and be a part of it. And I hope that you guys appreciate what we're doing here tonight. Instead of me just asking things and then saying, do you have any questions? And we get 1 or 2 questions. Getting feedback from you guys is extremely important. We had a quick one last night. We showed the video to about a dozen people. A day or 2 before that, I had an AMA on there where we had people vote on some sayings and stuff like that. We want to get this right. I want TruBadger to be a 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 billion dollar token. And the way we do that is to tap into the collective intelligence of the people that care about this token and that care about what we're doing. Okay. So, and we understand, guys, that a lot of people are out looking for, and you guys can let me know, the majority of the people, and this is another question, the majority of the people that you know in the crypto space, and correct me, so this is a yes or no. Yes, you are looking for short-term gains and are more focused on that, or no, are focused on long-term gains on that side of it. So, and this is not just you, the people that you know in the crypto space, or do you think more people are looking for short-term gains, or more people are looking for long-term gains and building from there? A little bit of both. Most short-term. Okay. 80% long-term, 20% short-term. Okay. Very good. Okay. All right. Excellent. So now my next question is this. We're getting ready to, we're doing the branding, we're doing the construction, the smart contract side of things, the blockchain side, let me put it that way. The blockchain side on Catapult Swap is completed. And now we're building the site and we're building the tech, that side of it. What do you guys, what is your perception of what problem that Catapult Swap solves? And do you think it's an important problem? Because wealth is built by people solving important problems, right? If you look at the Amazons of the world, the Pricelines of the world, these are businesses that solved major problems out in the marketplace. And for that, the founders of it, investors, the companies have become juggernaut, right? 50 billion, 100 billion, $1 trillion companies because they solve big problems, right? And so that's what we're really looking to doing, is to solve big problems. Yep. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So it is to prevent bots from being able to manipulate the early stage of it. Now I want to ask you guys another question. How many of you guys, 1 if you have and 2 if you haven't, and if this is your first time in crypto, you don't have to, if this is your first token, you don't have to answer this. If you've been in crypto, 1 if you haven't, 2 if you have, feel that you've lost money because of a bot manipulation upon the launch of a token. Yeah. Big, huge problem, guys, that we're going to solve. And so some people have been asking me, like, why is Catapult its own token? Why are we not just doing it under the TruBadger token? And the reason why is when you're building something that is different, it needs to have its own tokenomics and it needs to have its own system to build under. And when we're doing something that is important as solving a problem, and I've got to say, I listened to a recording of a gentleman who is like, I guess, looked at as an amazing person. He made $20 million or $10 million in 6 months in the crypto space investing. And he was talking about it, and he had said he had been involved in over 100 rug pulls in that 6 months, I believe was the number. And I'm just trying to recollect what that number was, that there was over 100 projects that they had been rug pulled on. Now he's made a fortune in doing it because he found the right ones. So think about this. If there's 5 million, 10 million traders out there right now, or crypto people, and most of them have been in some type of rug pull. And I would have to say that the majority have been in some type. Now, guys, there's two different types of rug pull, by the way. There's a hard rug pull where they pull out the liquidity or sell off a large group of tokens. And there is also what's called a soft rug pull. This is the one you might not even realize you were in. And that is the founders put a bunch of tokens in a whole bunch of wallets, 200, 300 wallets. And what they do is when the price starts rising, they go in and sell $50 here, $100 here, and $20. Over the course of time, they sell off 10 or 15% of it. There's a group, I think they've done 9 or 10 tokens already. I'm not going to mention the token names, but they've done it with every single one of them. It's called a soft rug pull, and it pulls away from that. Did anyone else heard of what's called a soft rug pull prior to me mentioning this, or feel like you've been caught up in one? No. This is why it's so important, guys, to know the people that are behind the tokens and to be able to gauge their integrity, which is, I think, one of the biggest problems with doing due diligence in the space, which comes to our second project, right? Which is the DAO project that we're setting up. We do have a name for it. I don't know if we're ready to release it or not yet. We've come up with what I believe is an incredible name. Very smart, very intelligent names that are a little bit, when you hear them, you might be like, it's going to make you think a little bit about the names that are there with it. So the DAO project that we're building, and again, we're on this system. So we've got this thing that's going to eliminate the bots from being able to attack and harm early investors. Man, that's fantastic. It lets the project get off the ground in a much better way because the early investors are not harmed in the process of doing it. Kind of like in the movies when they said no animals were harmed in the making of this movie. Well, we want crypto that says no crypto investors were harmed in the early stages of this company, right? So maybe that's a little sidewalk, a little sign we should make, a little like, there's a graphic for you, Rhonda, okay? For us to make a graphic and put that out there, right? So now the next part of the ecosystem is the DAO project that we're working on. So how many people here have gotten in projects because you saw that they said they were community-driven projects? So I can point to ones that say it or Safe Moon and that are, and I'm not going to judge whether they are or aren't, but there's a whole list of them that say they're community-driven. Yeah, and guys, what they're saying is that the community, like we're having right now, this conversation, you guys giving us feedback, this would be community driven, right? The community has a say so in where the company's going or from there, just this one. So let me ask you this question real quick. How many of you guys were really into investing before TruBadger? Because this will answer the question. Deflationary reflection tokens. Like I got to say, I own like 60 different companies, 70, 80 different companies that I invested in prior to starting this. So we were pretty big into the space, investing a lot. How many people were huge into this space, doing a lot of investing in the space? All new to me. Okay, so that's perfect. So that's why we're getting a little bit of the feedback that we're getting, because you guys had not had the chance to experience a lot of this. So I could pull up a dozen, 2 dozen, 4 dozen projects, and most of them will say that they're community driven. The problem with that is I can't find out how they're community driven. I don't see any software where they have a voting mechanism. I don't see where they're taking any feedback. Matter of fact, I've never seen an AMA where the host was asking the questions to the people out there. Never seen any other, and I've been on a lot of them, telegrams, having somebody go in there with questions and asking these type of things. So my question to Corey a lot was, how are they driving this project from the trunk? Normally, if you're driving a project, you have the steering wheel and you get to decide what direction you're going to go in, unless maybe your spouse is sitting next to you telling you what to do, right? But normally you driving, you get to decide what direction it is. Now, in this case, it wouldn't be one person driving, it would be the whole community driving. So you have to have a voting mechanism in place to make that happen. How many other projects have you guys been involved with that have actually allowed for participation? And this may be a low question because a lot of you guys haven't been involved in them, that have actually had some type of vote or some type of a mechanism in place in order for you to help drive the project, help you get feedback from the project. Yeah. And so that's our DAO software, guys. So there's two things that were created, and I think they were created for great intentions. So I believe the saying is the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So somebody came up with an idea because of rug pulls and because of people changing contracts, making changes to the contract. They said, oh, the thieves, the criminals, the rip-off artists, whatever you want to call them, the scam artists, were using these changes to the contract to make it to where they launch a contract, they make a change, and they'd be able to steal. Or they would build up liquidity, and then they would pull it. So somebody came along and said, I have the solution. We will renounce ownership of the contract. That's the solution. We just throw away the keys to the door, and we can't make changes to the contract. And then the second was, we would lock our LP and we would burn the cake. So it would be locked on there. It could never be used for anything else. The problem with both of those are, of course, the scam artists began to use those as a way to get you to invest in their project, even though it wasn't true. They would either hold tokens and do this token sell-off rug pull, or they would do a slow rug pull, right? They would slowly pull it off. And also on the contract, they would just write a contract with the stuff in it ahead of time, throw away the keys. You're like, oh, they renounced ownership. Let me get involved. We believe we have a much better solution, and that's what we're building with our DAO, a solution that will let the people who are started the project be able to upgrade, improve the contract with the express approval of the community. Now, how many of you guys would rather have a contract that can never be changed, that could be locked, or have a mechanism in place, one, if you would like this, and two, if it doesn't matter, okay? Would like to have it to where the contract can be improved and adjusted with a vote of the token holders with an explanation of what it's going to be done. Which one of those is better? One, just lock that sucker, or did I do it the wrong way? One is to be able to change it, and two is to lock it and throw away the keys. Perfect. Everybody, right? So guys, remember, I talked about us solving big problems, right? Okay, so let's look at LP. Second one that they do. It's great. I locked, threw away the keys. I can give you some very good examples. If you go to purchase Bonfire or SafeMoon, you have to go to version 1 of Pancake Swap to buy it. Why? Because they locked the liquidity without the ability to do what's right for the token holders. What would be best for the token holders right now is to move it over to V2 on Pancake Swap, right? They made a new version because they made improvements to it. You normally don't make a new version because it's worse. You make a new version because it's what? Better, right? You're making improvements. Theirs is locked on to V1 because they locked it. The other side of it too is if you're going to manage funds for a project, you want to do what's best. Let's say BNB begins to drop. If it's locked there and you can't do anything with it for another 3.5 years or permanently, you can never adjust that and do what's best. If you were able to lock it, but have a mechanism in place that says the the token holders can vote on a change to the status of that LP, meaning it stays LP, but it could be moved. I want you to think about this. What if the project creates this unbelievable killer swap, or somebody else does, but you're stuck on Pancake Swap and there's a better option out there? Okay, if you think that's a better, if you think being able to have flexibility but with protection, put a 1 in on that side of it. Okay, put a 1 in. Beautiful. Yeah, everybody, right? Because it only makes sense. Another giant project, another project that when we solve this problem, this token has the potential to be worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, because there's thousands of projects launching. And if this is the safest way, if we become the gold standard of if you're using our DAO software, then you can trust that project. And the right mechanisms are in place to only let good projects in the door, then we become as valuable as any token project out there, okay? So we've got the Catapult Swap solving a huge problem. We've got the DAO solving a huge problem. And now the third one, which is our trading software. Guys, the hardest tokens in the world to trade is deflationary reflection tokens. You've got a tax up front. You've got a tax when you sell it. You've got reflection coming in. If you buy it at 5 or 6 different prices, how do you know to sell it, right? So what do we want to do? We're in this space. We're going to be launching hundreds of these type of tokens over the next few years, right? Moving forward, right? Whether they're on BSCAN, whether they're on Ethereum, whether they're on Solana, whether they're on Avalanche, all different Phantom, all different blockchains. We're going to launch hundreds of projects. Wouldn't it make sense that if you're going to have people trading these and they're difficult to trade, that if we built a piece of software that made it easier and better for people to trade, that a lot of people would want to use that software? I don't even have to really ask the question, right? I guess these are so simple. It's one, right? Yes, people will flock to that piece of software because it solves a major problem. And eventually there will be millions of people that will be trading these type of tokens. And if we have millions of people trading them and we have the first and the best over time, that is another project that has the potential on its own to be worth tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of dollars, right? Because of the trading factors that are going on. So we have TruBadger. Now, how does that benefit you guys in the ecosystem that we're building? When Catapult Swap launches, it's going to take 5% of all of its tokens, and it's going to let you guys come out and claim an airdrop. And if you're holding TruBadger tokens over a period of time, so the formula is a period of time you've held, let's say it's 45 days. Over 45 days, how many tokens have you held? Okay, and we'll do 5 or 6 snapshots, unknown to anybody except for the little smart computer that's doing it. It's going to go in and take 5 or 6 snapshots, and it's going to take a formula, and it's going to say, John held 1 billion tokens, 3 billion, 2 billion, 9 billion, and 4 billion. It's going to come up with an average, and it's going to say, John is eligible to claim 50 million Catapult Swap tokens. If he wants to, he goes to the page, he hits the claim button, pays the 8 or 9 cents, whatever it is, 14 cents, and he gets those tokens. Now, he didn't have to sell his TruBadger tokens. He didn't have to, put any more money in. He just simply received those tokens for a project that is solving one of the biggest problems in token launches. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? 1 if it does, or 2 if it does not make sense. Makes perfect sense, right? Okay, very good. Okay, so now let's look at the DAO software. Again, solving a major issue. The DAO software going to launch a token. It's going to take 5% of its tokens, and it is going to allow for, if you are a TruBadger holder, same formula, okay? Same exact formula. Amount of time that you've held them, an average of you holding them. By the way, if you've always increased or held steady, your percentage will be weighted in a better direction than if you sold, bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold, bought. Just a hint there, okay? So by holding, you're going to get, a little bit more of it because you provided more value by being a holder instead of a buyer and seller, okay? You'll go and you'll claim that as well. No, nothing interferes with anything that we're doing, Mark. An airdrop is an airdrop. When you look at the pie chart, it says how are the tokens distributed. It's going to say this percentage were delivered to TruBadger holders. Now, the beauty of that is we've got a white paper for Catapult Swap. I find Catapult Swap. I read the chart and I go, oh, TruBadger, what's this TruBadger? Oh, let me go check it out. Let me go look and see what TruBadger, because they got some of the tokens. What did they do to get those tokens? What value did they provide? Why are we getting tokens? Because the value that this community provides. Let's say by the time we launch Catapult Swap, we have 10,000 people. All 10,000 people don't need to go buy the token, but maybe 1,000 buy Catapult Swap. That's a value. 1,000. So right now we're running a contest to build the channel of Catapult Swap, right? That's another value that we're creating as a community. The tokenomics, when you purchase the token, is putting up some of the funding for us to develop Catapult Swap. The tokenomics of what you purchased with TruBadger is paying for the overhead for us to then put the time in to build the project. So there is a reason the value that's being created by the community, the value being created by the tokenomics, and the value being created by the team is the reason why, and the creators of it. So see, we're giving that away for free. The ideas, the concepts of this, we're saying here, give our tokens to these TruBadger people, right? Because without you guys, this is much harder for us to do. I've already been through one token launch. I want my next token launches to be much easier and much more powerful. Somebody asked me the other day, how do you think these next token projects will compare to the last one? I have to say they will be bigger and they will be better by common sense. Why will they be bigger and better? Because by the time we do one, we should have 10 or 20,000 TruBadger holders. When we started this, when we did a post, we had 1 or 2 people to share it, or a dozen or 100 people to share it. When we launch, because TruBadger people benefit from the success of Catapult Swap, all of them do, we should have 10,000 people. Now we know that's not true, but at least 1,000 or 2,000 people will share out. Do you guys understand that that's a value that TruBadger brings? Because then Catapult Swap is not having to spend the money. When we need an upvote for Catapult Swap, we'll be able to come to the TruBadger community and say, hey guys, let's go upvote this on Reddit. And we should be able to get 400, 500, 600, 700 upvotes, which will then help Catapult Swap. And why would you guys do that? Because you hold Catapult Swap tokens without even whether you bought them or not. Is this making sense to you guys? So I want to go to Mark's thing. So first of all, Mark, there is no one who has TruBadger tokens that did not pay for them. Okay, I paid for every token that I have. I am the biggest whale. I am the whale. Okay, and I have not sold a single one of my tokens that I got prior to this launching. I will be the whale in Catapult Swap. I'm not selling any of my Catapult Swap tokens on all of our future projects, because I find I can't trust people anymore, the people that I thought I could. All tokens by anyone who gets tokens prior to the launch will be locked for 90 days, a portion of those tokens, 6 months, and 1 year. I have to say that this project has been more protected than any project out there. Do we have some early devs that worked on this project that decided to move on and have sold off some of their tokens? Yes. Do we have some people that took advantage of the early swap we did? Yes. That's human nature. But this token has held up. And if you've kept your tokens, every single person who purchased on the first day is ahead of their things. Guys, this has been a phenomenal investment to this point for the people that have been involved with it. But we're just getting started. I can't snap my fingers. I could take the idea of Catapult Swap and go launch a whole nother project and not share any with the TruBadger community. I have 5 or 6 other ideas that are absolutely staggering ideas. I am giving them to the TruBadger community. I don't care what other people do, guys. What you should care about is what am I doing? What is Rhonda doing? What is Corey doing? What are the core people involved in this doing? We are dedicating night and day to this. So I don't care what somebody else does. And if you're worried about the price tomorrow, guys, maybe you should sell and go to another project. I am not building a token for tomorrow. I'm building a token for the rest of our lives. We are building a project that will echo into eternity if that's how long the token things last, okay? I don't build short-term stuff. I don't wake up every day and go, what's the market cap of TruBadger? Because I don't give an F what the market cap of TruBadger is tomorrow. What I care about is what is the market cap of TruBadger in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, 60 months, 10 years from now. That is what's important, guys, not the price of TruBadger tomorrow. The only time you lose on a token or close out, whether it's profitable or a loss, is when you sell it or the project completely fails and goes out of business. That's the only time. If you're holding TruBadger today, you don't know what your return is going to be, because the only time you mark the return or the loss is when you actually sell it. And that is the biggest problem in the token space. It's people with paper hands, short vision, people that get involved in projects that they never plan on staying with for any amount of time. You cannot even invest in companies this way. You can't. You can't invest in a startup company and sell your stock 2 days after you put the money in. The average right now is you have to hold for years in order to see a return. So if you own tokens, you're going to get an airdrop. If you own more tokens, you're going to get the same percentage, just more, because you've got more and you've invested more and you've put more into it. How do you become a whale? Start buying $50, $100, $200 a week worth of tokens and hold on to them and put more money aside and become a whale. That's how I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into TruBadger. That's why I have the most tokens. Not because I started it, because I didn't get any tokens for starting it. I had to buy them. And not at not much less of a discount than what every single other person got them for in the early swap. And I stand by that, guys. We are not taking some easy ride or shortcut here. I'm in this for the long haul. Go look at my wallet. My 15 trillion tokens are locked. Some for 6 months, some for 7 months, some for 8 months, some for 9 months, some for 10 months, some for 11 months, and some for 12 months. And do I have other wallets? Yes, because I bought more tokens. Will I be selling my tokens? No. I'm here to see where we can take this and where we can go. And I know some people are like, oh my God, did he tell them to sell their tokens? I'm not a I told you so person, but sell your tokens now and you will regret it at some point in time. It's that simple. You'll regret the fact that you did not stick with the vision that we have and what we're working to accomplish. Anyway, this is supposed to be an AMA. Sorry, when I see this stuff, it drives me insane, right? Projects need funds to get started and get going. Part of the thing is with TruBadgers, we're eliminating some of that. That's why you guys are getting tokens, because we're the early funders of the projects. This all makes sense. Nobody, if we didn't have the first people that got in that put in $91,000, we wouldn't have a smart contract. We wouldn't have art. We wouldn't have what it is. So they put up money. They took the biggest risk because we didn't have anything yet. We didn't even have a name. So they took the biggest risk. So they get the biggest reward. Have all of them done what I would have done? No. Will they be invited back to be part of another project? The answer is no. Okay. So, all right, I want to get back a couple more questions and then we will call it a night. Let's see. That's okay. I needed to hear all that. Everything is much clearer now. No worries, guys. Look, it's the future things. When Catapult Swap, there's no fixed pricing. Catapult Swap is a progressive up movement in the price of it. You won't see fixed pricing anymore. That's part of the issue, right? Is fixed pricing on this stuff. So lots of things going on, guys. We're here for the long haul. I'm putting in, 16, 18-hour days every day into this, 7 days a week. I don't work 5 and I don't work 6. I work 7 days a week to the success of this company. The rest of this team, minimum 6, 7 days a week right now, putting in and driving this. So the amount of work that's putting in is tremendous. The amount of effort that's being put in and the ideas and the concepts that will be put behind TruBadger are worth, a fortune in themselves in the way that they do it. I happen to believe that I have a very creative mind when it comes to business concepts, able to see down the road of what's happening in business and in industries. And I am bringing all of that to TruBadger. So if you're a TruBadger holder, you benefit from all the creativity I can muster, all the great ideas, all the solutions that we're putting together. And you don't hold something that right now has a $17 million market cap. You hold the efforts of the team. You hold the genius of the team. You hold the creativity of the team. You hold the integrity of the team. That is the value behind TruBadger. And I believe that value will take this token into the billions of dollars, eventually tens of billions of dollars, and will launch the ecosystem, the Nexus ecosystem that is absolutely necessary for the common people. I'm going to say this right now, guys. 90% plus of the people that get into crypto and decide to buy and sell crypto will lose money. I don't care that it's the biggest financial opportunity of our lifetimes. They will lose money. Why? Because they'll do it themselves. They will not have enough information, enough expertise. They'll find 1 or 2 good projects, but they'll also find 5 or 6 that are not good. They'll buy high, they'll sell low, and at the end of the day, they'll wake up 5 years from now and go, shoot, how come I didn't get rich from the crypto space? How come I'm still struggling? And then, Mary down the street got rich. Mary plugged into a community and a system that developed and built real projects that solved real problems, that helped her guide her and say, here's 10 projects, Mary, that have teams behind them. They can be built. They can be done. Now, not all 10 are going to make it. So Mary's going to say, I'll put mine in. I like this one and I like this one. Oh, wow. This one's about, nuclear fusion, and Mary's into nuclear fusion. So she gets in that one because she knows it well. And then next week or next month, she gets in another one, and next month. So over the 5 years, she gets in 50, 60, 70 projects. 10 of them are home runs. 10 or 15 of them are good projects. Maybe a few go out of business. But because she had something to bank on, she was able to have that guidance instead of just, to me, picking tokens or the right projects without being able to connect with the owners of it. How many people on here bought some ping tokens? How many people on here, we did a AMA with them and said, hey, here's some guys, we've talked to them, we had conversations, we looked at what they were doing, and we vetted them. I'll say we vetted them and said, hey guys, here's somebody you should vet. Of course, you should have done your own homework on it. Right now, if you would have gotten in the day we did the AMA, you'd be up 800%. 8 times your return you would have made. 8 times your return. Okay. John says he wishes. Guys, this is the system. What we used in order to pick that token is the same stuff we're building into our technology, and that to be able to say, here's the potential for real tokens. Okay. Let's see. One more question. Okay. And then we'll call it a night. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being a part of TruBadger. I don't want anybody to sell. I want all you guys to hold, and I want all of you guys to benefit from it. But again, if you've got to, the number one thing you got to do is believe in what we're doing, because it is going to take some time to roll all these projects out, to get them up and running. Even Catapult Swap, we're going to get it launched. We're going to do 1 or 2 projects. We're going to perfect it. We've got to build the version 2. We've got to move this stuff through. So this is going to take us time in order to build this to get to the point where we're at. Okay. So last question. Okay. Let's see. How many people did I make mad tonight at me? That's not a question. Please don't answer that. Please don't answer that. I don't want to hear. I don't want to even know, right? Okay. So, all right. So, let's see. Okay. Here is my question. Okay. How many people, oh, here it is. Okay. And this will be one you guys will give suggestions. What are some great contests that you guys have seen other projects do that we can do in the future to help move this thing forward? All right. So if you guys just put it in there, any type of contest that you've seen, that you've been involved with other projects that have gone really well. If you guys could put that in there, that would be fantastic. Yeah, and guys, as soon as our market cap goes up high enough, we will give away. We do have plans to give away a car, a house, and maybe even a couple other bigger things. But we have a set amount of tokens, which we just locked up a bunch of them. But we have a set amount for the contest. So when our market cap gets in the $200, $300, $500 million range, and we have enough volume liquidity, then at that point we will start giving away enough tokens when we have. And also too, you guys got to remember, if we have a small community right now, the value that's created by a contest has a certain amount of impact. So in order to give away bigger prizes, you must have a bigger value, right? Participation in it. And so that determines it. Oh, it's very much like the lottery, right, guys? So what drives up the value of a lottery winning? The number of tickets that are purchased, right? The more tickets that are purchased, the more money in the pool of the lottery. This is the more people that we get to participate in the contest, the bigger prizes we can do, because the bigger impact that it has on the project to create value. That wallet's really there to create value for the TruBadger holders. So really, if you think about it, we manage this properly. Every token holder wins when we have a contest, because the contest help create value for the token. And I guess I'm explaining this, guys, so you understand my thinking on these. So that 20 trillion tokens there that are put aside for contests, that is going to drive billions, I see, billions of value for the token holders, because we're able to, like one of the contests we're running right now is, we want to get Catapult social media off and up and running. So that's part of the value we create So we're using tokens in the TruBadger one to create that value. So now there's a value proposition, because normally the Catapult Swap would say, let's spend $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 to build up our social media to get it going. In turn, we were able to take TruBadger tokens and create that value, which is why we've earned the tokens that we'll get. The website should be done for Las Vegas guys any day now. They're working on it right now because they were on holiday, religious holiday last week. Those should be done any day now, and we'll get that information out. Wow. All right, guys. So my question is this. Did you guys have fun? Do you feel this is valuable, what we did tonight? One, if you had fun and you thought it was valuable. Two, you probably actually left already if you're going to put a 2 in. If you're going to put in a 2 and you stayed on this whole time, me and you need to talk personally, because I got to tell you, if you don't like something, you should probably hang up, right? Well, guys, it's fun as always, and I think you guys are learning that we like to have fun with what we do. Tomorrow, we're going to have a burn party. We're going to have it earlier in the day, though, because of the international scheduling. We're going to start moving it back and forth, and eventually we'll probably move it around to a couple of different times on what we're doing. Next week, we'll be back to answer questions. I'll actually answer questions for you guys. I may jump into the Telegram here. We may actually, if you're in Telegram and you see us in there and we turn it on, it may be we're going over the new script. So we created the first script, went over it, decided to make some changes, and we're working on that type of stuff. So if you guys would like to participate in that type of stuff, we do it through Telegram, as well as we may end up putting together some groups where we can start running some ideas by people. So you'll see, like, we'll post in Telegram, hey, we're going to have a Zoom. Last night, how many people on here jumped on the Zoom yesterday or last night and helped us, watch the video and stuff like that? Thank you, Lois. Thank you. Amazing. Yanni did. Yep. Nick did. So that's the kind of participation, guys, that we like, so we can get this right and build all of our dreams and keep it going. I can say one thing, guys, about the market cap not going right away to $300 million. For those of you that didn't get in as much money as you wanted to, let me ask you this question too. How many people bought tokens at a $16.4 million market cap? I'm raising my hand because I did. I went on a buying spree, guys. I was like selling other tokens off. I'm like buying, getting more tokens because I see where it's going and where it's a part of. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you. Our future is bright. We're going to continue to build and grow this thing. We are on a very exciting and longer journey than probably even I want it to be, but it is going to be a fantastic one, and we're going to solve a lot of problems. And here's the biggest thing. We are going to make money with TruBadger and with these other projects. And what we are going to do to make that money is we are going to help millions of other people increase their financial security, because the projects we bring will create value in the lives of people. And because we're building this system, this mechanism, they are not going to be in as many rug pulls. They're not going to be in as many bad projects, and they're going to have a much better potential to make a profit out of this and be one of the people that stand up, the 10% that said, I made a fortune during the blockchain revolution that took place in the early 2000s through 2025, 2028, 2030, however it plays out. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And I didn't ask as many questions as I thought. I ended up talking like normal. I got to apologize, but if you ever want a long answer to a short question, I'm your guy. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you.